Lots of weird things happen to kids all the time, all around the world, every day. You know, I have something to show for it.
I'm saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
And they are.
And they do not want me saying what I'm saying right now.
Are you saying that they're...
Yes.
I'm able to kind of live the life that, you know, like that, that my circumstances afforded me.
You're
Sunglasses
damaging an entire industry.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to.
that...
I'm just trying to say that it's a very important, serious topic.
Violence as far as child and child. One of the actors spoke on it, Elijah Wood, and then recanted what he said based on the fact that he didn't want to be looked in a bad light by Hollywood.
Working in this industry, it can push you in a lot of different directions that are not necessarily positive.
Everyone might remember Macaulay Culkin, the adorable kid from Home Alone who became a household name overnight.
Well, they needed a 6-year-old kid. Well, I was 6 then, so I went over, auditioned, and got that play. So people saw me, like directors and stuff like that saw me.
Well, he's just come forward with some shocking revelations about his past, and it's leaving everyone stunned. But what does he know exactly?
It just all happened, and I didn't even think. I thought this is life, I guess. You know, isn't this normal?
So in a recent interview, Macaulay recounted how he was mistreated during his time in Hollywood.
After a while, it became, like I said, a job, and it was, I never chose the projects.
But there is more to the story than meets the eyes. What dark secrets from his Hollywood past is Culkin finally ready to share?
Kind of just like, again, like, it's what you do.
Right.
Like, it's like in the same way that, like, yeah, like kids go to like school or something like that. Like, you know, you fall into a routine to a certain extent.
And could these revelations unveil a disturbing network preying on vulnerable victims?
It was something I just needed to do for myself, and I did it, and I feel like I'm a stronger person for it. And so now I feel like I'm more equipped to do.
And he's not alone. Elijah Wood and Corey Feldman have also stepped up, sharing their own harrowing experiences of being young actors in an industry that, according to them, exploited their innocence.
Eventually, kids were going to come forward, a little too late, but still come forward and say how they had been touched by someone inappropriately.
I'm saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
Lately, Elijah Wood, another former child star, has also been all over the news because he's been talking about how some of his fellow child actors got treated pretty badly back in the day.
Elijah Wood has made the explosive allegation that Hollywood is in the grip of a child abuse epidemic, with rich and powerful industry figures abusing child actors with impunity.
But what exactly happened behind the scenes? How could such beloved stars face such dark realities? Macaulay, Elijah, and Corey all allege that they were not only mistreated, but also inappropriately touched by individuals in positions of power.
Is that because you're just not interested, or?
Yeah, kind of not interested. I don't really like the pursuit of it. You know, like, yeah, like what it takes
whole process,
to
auditions,
exactly.
Meetings,
I don't like being on the circuit.
As you saw, it's a pretty tight-knit scene. It is believed that there's this group in the industry that keeps an eye on young artists, and as they're easy targets, they just swoop in on them.
I mean, I understand that things happen in families, and there's a lot of things going on in families that we don't know about. There's a lot of family secrets which should be kept a secret.
But do you think that's the whole story? You might be wrong, because the truth is even uglier than that. Why are these accusations coming to light now? Who are the culprits? And why hasn't justice been served? Are there more victims out there who haven't found their voice yet?
I did. I got really mad at him. I was like, I don't care how many Oscars you have or whatever. And like, what are you biting a 9-year-old? What the heck's wrong with you?
So hold on to your seats tightly, as this is going to be a crazy ride. So after laying low for a long time, Culkin came back with a vengeance, ready to expose Hollywood's dark secrets. His bombshell revelations about the industry's shady side, especially involving Hollywood elites like Oprah, Barbara Walters, and many others, have rocked anyone paying attention, revealing the sinister underbelly of Tinseltown.
Pretty
Lots
much.
of weird things happen to kids.
Yeah, man.
But I got some money out of it.
Look, I'm not working like the diamond mines. I'm not a child soldier. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I came out the other end, and I have something to show for it. The food sucks, the wine's terrible, and the women are ugly. But otherwise, it's fantastic. Yeah. No, it's like, yeah, it was an agreeable lifestyle. I had a bunch of friends out there. They were always asking me, When are you going to move to Paris, and when are you going to learn French?
Let's talk about Oprah first, and how she may be an industry handler. Despite her image as a benevolent media mogul, Oprah has been linked to shady figures like John of God, Harvey Weinstein, and Diddy. There are rumors that she might have even helped these find their victims. If these allegations are true, they could shake the foundations of Hollywood and beyond, revealing a network of corruption and exploitation that's been hidden from the public for years.
Macaulay Culkin has blown the whistle on the entertainment industry elite to reveal that Hollywood studio executives are bloodthirsty Satanists.
The idea of freedom shook up the entertainment industry last year, grabbing everyone's attention and sparking conversations well beyond just box office numbers. But what's really turning heads is the surprising comeback of Macaulay Culkin, the beloved child star from Home Alone. In an alleged interview, Culkin has dropped some major bombshells that have everyone reeling.
He reached out to me because a lot of things were happening, like, big and fast with me. And I think he identified with that. I mean,
it all kicked off with an article that's been making the rounds. According to this Unverified piece, Culkin alleged that powerful figures are involved in some seriously messed up rituals with young actors. The headline, Macaulay Culkin, Satanic Elites, do the unthinkable to young ones during rituals, is both shocking and unsettling. The article claims that Culkin accused ruthless studio executives of being horrific individuals who carry out terrifying rituals on young actors. These allegations sound straight out of a dark Hollywood thriller, painting a deeply disturbing picture of supposed practices involving these figures.
Did people treat you differently?
I'm always treated differently.
Yeah.
Whether I like it or not.
In December 2017, several unreliable websites published articles claiming that former child actor Macaulay Culkin stated in a radio interview that Hollywood is dominated by satanic peas who ritually murder children. One version of the story appeared on sites like Your Newswire, Neon Nettle, and News Punch, known for creating sensationalized and false content. The material has since been replicated by other fake news websites. Hollywood executives are described as bloodthirsty Satanists who ritually children in the industry, according to Macaulay Culkin. He claims he survived because he was a smart, suspicious kid and became too famous to be like some of the other kids. Culkin stated, "You learn early to recognize which of them want to A you, and which have even darker tastes." He explained that the worst of them wear shoes made from the skin of children that they ritually. Speaking on a radio show in Paris, France, Culkin remarked, "Have you seen leather products made from human skin? It has a very unusual, distinctive look. I learned at a young age to identify it." In a controversial article on News Punch attributed to Alan Smithy, it was claimed that Macaulay Culkin revealed in a radio interview that Hollywood is controlled by satanic peas. The article alleged that at 11, a Hollywood executive tried to get him addicted to crack cocaine and boasted about custom-made leather shoes crafted from the skin of deceased child star Heather O'Rourke. These explosive claims supposedly appeared in French media, including Les Echos, but were quickly removed. However, these allegations made by Your Newswire, Neon Nettle, and News Punch are entirely fabricated. The article also mentioned that the worst of these individuals even use human skin to make shoes. But there's no credible evidence or record of such an interview happening, and reputable French media outlets like Les Echos did not publish such a story. Guillaume Brossard from Hoaxbuster, a French-language fact-checking site, confirms that the screenshots and translations provided by these sites are likely falsified and poorly translated from English. While concerns about child exploitation in Hollywood have been raised by former child actors like Elijah Wood, these typically focus on real issues rather than sensationalized claims involving Satanism and ritual. Stories like these from fake news and conspiracy theory sites only spread misinformation and confusion.
Working in this industry, it can push you in a lot of different directions that are not necessarily.
It's important to keep in mind that we haven't confirmed whether this article is legit or not. When it comes to serious claims like these, we should definitely wait for more solid evidence or confirmation before jumping to conclusions. Rumors in Hollywood can spread like wildfire, so it's crucial to stay critical. Even though the article talks about Macaulay Culkin and some big shots in the industry, we can't take it at face value just yet. Hollywood is full of secrets and mysteries, and the saying, "snitches get stitches," kind of sums up how risky it can be to speak out against powerful people. If there's any truth to what's being claimed, it could explain why Culkin's career seemed to stall out of nowhere. In Tinseltown, it's often really hard for people to call out shady stuff without facing serious backlash. Culkin's career, especially his iconic role as Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, feels like it could be straight out of a Hollywood drama itself.
There's Home Alone, and she's like, huh? You wanna watch it? And I'm like, you wanna watch Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin, don't you?
The massive success of Home Alone turned Macaulay Culkin into a global sensation overnight. Despite him being just 10 years old, his fame exploded and he was everywhere, featured in marketing campaigns, gracing magazine covers, and followed relentlessly by the paparazzi. His performance didn't just win over audiences, it also earned him critical praise, including a Golden Globe nomination and a Young Artist Award. With all the buzz, it's important to be cautious about rumors and wait for credible sources to verify any claims. Hollywood producers saw his potential and cast him in other hits like Uncle Buck, My Girl, and Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. His star power even led to a Saturday morning cartoon show called Wish Kid and a standout role in Michael Jackson's Black or White music video.
Ready? Get set, go.
You cheater!
He cheats a lot, but he's fun. He loves to have fun.
But all this success came with a personal price. The industry's obsession with profit and fame often ignored the well-being of child stars. Managed by his parents, Culkin's life became all about work, interviews, and public appearances. Hollywood saw him as a cash cow, which meant he faced an intense workload for someone so young. The pressure was tough to handle and made it hard for him to have a normal childhood.
And hurts himself. This is opening night.
Yeah.
And injures himself and can't do the rest of the run of the whole show. And apparently that was like the last acting gig he ever did, because it was quite embarrassing.
In 1995, Culkin's personal life faced challenges when his parents, Kit and Patricia Culkin, decided to separate, triggering a bitter custody battle involving Culkin and his 6 siblings. These personal upheavals compounded the difficulties he was already experiencing in his career, creating a challenging period both professionally and personally. Following the custody battle, Culkin's relationship with his father became strained after full custody was awarded to his mother. The highly publicized divorce and custody proceedings added further stress to the already difficult situation for the young actor. Upon turning 18, Culkin gained access to his substantial earnings, resulting in a significant financial windfall. However, the sudden wealth brought its own challenges. In a lighthearted interview with Ellen DeGeneres, he humorously remarked that he felt like someone else had worked hard to earn all the money, and he had simply inherited it like a windfall.
At what age did you see your money?
I didn't see it until I turned 18. You had I call it the slip of paper meeting, where they kind of pretty much put a number on a piece of paper and like slide it across the table.
As his fame waned, Culkin decided to step away from acting to seek a sense of normalcy and privacy. Escaping the constant scrutiny of Hollywood and the public eye, he aimed to be seen as just another person on the street, separate from his former child star image. Taking a break from the spotlight, Culkin explored various creative pursuits such as writing and music, seeking fulfillment beyond acting and Hollywood's expectations. But he left so suddenly? Corey Feldman and Elijah have all the reasons to tell you. The anticipation is building as Culkin isn't flying solo in his fight. Fellow former child stars Elijah Wood and Corey Feldman have also come forward, supporting his claims and sharing their own intense experiences. In an interview, Elijah Wood spilled some serious tea about what's been happening in Hollywood. He said, "Clearly something major was going on. It was all organized. There are a lot of vipers in this industry, people who only have their own interests in mind. There is darkness in the underbelly. If you can imagine it, it's probably happened." Following Elijah's lead, Corey Feldman also stepped up, revealing the and exploitation he and other child stars endured.
I'm saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
One of the worst things about Hollywood is how it totally exploits young talent. We've all heard those horror stories about young actors getting taken advantage of by the big shots. And it's not just gossip. These things really happen. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. Some people say she's part of this elite group that turns a blind eye to all this awful behavior. What's really frustrating is how these stories often get brushed aside or just don't get the attention they deserve.
Former child star Elijah Wood says Hollywood has a seedy underbelly of child abuse and that those responsible are being protected by the entertainment industry elite.
Conversations about child SA in Hollywood aren't new. In his 2013 book, Choreography, Corey Feldman detailed the alleged he and his The Lost Boys co-star Corey Haim faced as child stars. Despite this, the discussion hasn't gained the same momentum as the conversation surrounding Bill Cosby's alleged SA, which stayed quiet until Hannibal Buress made his now famous joke. Maybe this is the moment for change. Elijah Wood recently sat down with the Sunday Times and described Hollywood as an industry full of vipers papers, where if you can imagine it, it's probably happened. According to Elijah Wood, he was protected from A by his mother, who didn't let him go to parties. However, he mentioned that his peers were regularly preyed upon by those in power. If you're innocent, you have very little knowledge of the world, and you want to succeed, Wood said. People with parasitic interests will see you as their prey. He compared what he witnessed to the SA crimes carried out by the English TV personality Jimmy Savile, which became a scandal following his death. Speaking to the English paper, Wood said, "You all grew up with Savile. Jesus, it must have been devastating." Clearly, something major was going on in Hollywood. It was all organized. Wood said that victims can't speak as loudly as people in power, which often means their stories aren't acted upon and the perpetrators aren't punished. It's a horrifying thought, but hopefully this will give the conversation momentum again, or maybe inspire more former child actors to share their experiences. But it looks like the same power thing happened with him as well. Shortly after this interview, he released a statement clarifying his remarks. "The Sunday Times interviewed me about my latest film, but the story became about something else entirely. It prompted a number of false and misleading headlines. I had just seen a powerful documentary, and I briefly spoke with the reporter about the subject, which had consequences I did not intend or expect. Lesson learned. Let me be clear, this subject of CA is an important one that should be discussed and properly investigated. But as I made absolutely clear to the writer, I have no first-hand experience or observation of the topic, so I cannot speak with any authority beyond articles I have read and films I have seen." Wood pointed out the disturbing reality that victims often can't speak as loudly as the powerful people harming them. He described it as tragic, trying to expose what happens to innocent people who are silenced while their lives are irreparably damaged. Thankfully, Wood credits his mother Deborah for protecting him from such situations, preventing him from becoming a victim of the industry's darker side. However, he acknowledged that even as an adult, he has been exposed to dark situations, realizing that these terrible things are likely still happening. What Wood shared aligns perfectly with what Feldman has been saying for years. It sounds like you're talking about Elijah Wood and his journey in Hollywood. He became one of the most recognizable pop culture icons, which might seem like a gift, but it's also a heavy burden that few manage to escape. However, Wood managed to slip out from under the crushing weight of typecasting in some surprisingly clever ways. Throughout his career, the words, "You can always do better," have stayed with him from childhood to now. With the support of his loving mother, he was able to survive Hollywood as a teen, stay grounded, and build a flourishing career that continues to thrive.
Both internally and, where I am in my career if it hadn't been for my mom.
She kept you grounded?
Yeah, she was obsessed with keeping me grounded. She drilled humility into me.
However, in his flourishing career, he has seen many things that should not be performed, and one such thing is CT. It was during his focus on work that Elijah met the love of his life and the mother of his son. From a young age, Elijah Wood knew he wanted to entertain. As the second of 3 children born to Debbie and Warren Wood, he grew up in a loving family that supported his interests in music and acting. At just 7 years old, Wood started modeling and taking piano lessons. He began landing roles in school productions like The Sound of Music and The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. His professional career started early, appearing in Paula Abdul's Forever Your Girl music video in 1988. Early in his acting career, Wood appeared in notable works such as Back to the Future Part 2, Paradise, and The Good Son. His role in Child in the Night caught the attention of directors, establishing him as a promising actor from Iowa. However, at 15, he had to take a break due to personal issues. His parents were going through a divorce. While difficult, it didn't impact him as severely as it might have other teenagers in similar situations. After taking some time off to focus on himself and his family, Elijah Wood returned to Hollywood with his role in Flipper, a family adventure film about a teenage boy caring for a wounded dolphin. His hiatus, prompted by his parents' divorce, was a challenging period for Elijah, but he managed it better than many teenagers facing similar circumstances.
Work with the dolphins was sort of something that I've always wanted to do, and I really wanted to do this because of that.
But during his peak time, he noticed that his friends like Feldman Culkin and Scarlett Johansson have not been working like him, and the reason was shocking. Many aspiring actors see Hollywood as the ultimate dream, but recent revelations have unveiled the industry's darker side. Several celebrities have bravely shared their disturbing experiences, shedding light on harsh realities that have sparked widespread discussions and, at times, backlash from the public.
He was literally just a stalker, hanger-on dude that
basically got into my life because he worked for the Saturn Awards and was trying to give me an award. So he like called me up at...
Corey Feldman started his acting career at the incredibly young age of 3. At such a young age, a child can't give informed consent or fully understand the implications of entering the entertainment industry. Typically, the responsibility falls on the parents, and it's evident that Corey's mother recognized the potential financial benefits of her child's career. Starting so young deeply impacted Corey's life, exposing him to the challenges and darker sides of Hollywood that he later confronted.
Because my mom was doing it with somebody on the set of The Lost Boys.
Okay.
This hot little Asian woman who I was sitting there one night because I was like falling asleep and I was depressed.
During his peak career years like Elijah, Corey likely earned a significant amount of money. However, Corey has alleged that his mother exploited his earnings, which is unfortunately a common issue among child stars in entertainment. To address such challenges and safeguard their finances, some young actors like Corey have sought legal emancipation from parental control. These efforts have contributed to better working conditions for young performers, prompting the industry to pay more attention to their rights and well-being.
I was a little frustrated, like, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna stay up all night? And this little Asian lady comes up to me and she's like, hey, you should just do what your mom does to stay awake. And I was like, what's that? And she's like,
in the 1980s, actors, especially young ones, often had less awareness and knowledge about protecting themselves from potential exploitation in Hollywood. Corey Feldman's experiences during that era served as a cautionary tale for future generations of actors entering the industry. His story highlights the critical need to safeguard young talents and prioritize their well-being in an environment that can unfortunately be predatory. It's a reminder of the ongoing importance of industry reforms and protections for child actors.
You know, when you get to those ages, all of a sudden they start treating you more like you're an adult, right? And the work code still applies.
Back in 2013, Corey did something really brave. He dropped a memoir spilling the beans on the awful stuff he and Corey Haim went through in Hollywood when they were just kids, like 11 to 13 years old. It shone a big spotlight on how some big shots in the industry treated them, sparking a lot of talk about how Hollywood needs to do better at protecting young actors and holding people accountable.
I was like, oh, okay, well, she makes it sound so easy and harmless, I might as well. If my mom's doing it, how bad could it be, you know?
His revelations about the A he faced during his career, especially during his childhood years, extended beyond Hollywood. He also disclosed that his struggles with substance A later in life were partly a result of the trauma he endured during those difficult years.
We did it, we had fun, it was like, you know, we were talking, we were sitting in this girl's apartment, she takes me out driving, she taught me how to drive a stick shift, high on coke for the first time.
Corey's choice to speak up, maybe even name names of those who hurt him and Corey Haim, shows how deep-seated the problems are in showbiz, especially for child actors. It's like what Brooke Shields went through, being exploited and all at such a young age. Corey's revelations really push for more awareness and protection for young performers. Yeah, Corey's never held back when it comes to exposing Hollywood's shady side. As he became more outspoken, he faced pushback from industry folks, who's reportedly connected to Oprah.
And they are
And they do not want me saying what I'm saying right now.
Are you saying that they're...
Yes.
Oprah's been through her fair share of controversies, accusations of smear campaigns against critics, sabotaging careers, and even some really disturbing claims.
Oprah legitimized the notorious criminal Zhao Tashira, aka John of God, as a miraculous faith healer, one who could cure cancer.
So when some folks think of Oprah Winfrey, they can't help but think of Harvey Weinstein too. They've been linked for over 2 decades as friends. A lot of people argue that Oprah couldn't have not known about Weinstein's reputation, which has been shady since the 90s. When he faced all those accusations and cancellations, Oprah allegedly reached out to offer support, though her team denies it. But because of her longtime friendship and sympathy shown towards him, people wonder why Oprah would stick by someone like him, especially given his disgusting behavior. They had a really close friendship, and the photos make it seem that way. Some even believe Oprah might have encouraged actresses to get involved with Harvey Weinstein. Rose McGowan tweeted about it, saying, "I'm glad more are seeing the ugly truth of Oprah. I wish she were real, but she isn't." From being pals with Weinstein to abandoning and destroying Russell Simmons' sick victims, she is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come. Another person who spoke against Oprah is Singer Seal. He also accused Oprah of facilitating Jeffrey and Harvey. The nature of Oprah's allegedly purported relationship with Jeffrey Epstein is currently shrouded in a great deal of mystery. As can be seen from the conversation that has taken place online, many people are under the impression that Oprah was involved in Epstein's choice choice of victims. There was even the possibility that the Floridian residents who accused Oprah of being a part of an organization that dealt with HT were right in their assertions. Even fans have noticed all these weird incidents, and one of them wrote, "Oprah is one of the bad guys." Another one added, "I didn't believe Oprah could possibly be connected with any of this until she started that girl's SCUI, and then I expected stories to come out years later about problems there." That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.